Alright everyone, now we studied in our previous video that the sympathetic preganglionic and the pre- and postganglionic of the parasympathetic, they secrete acetylcholine. That is why they are called as cholinergic receptors. Now the next part is, what do the cholinergic receptors do? Now we're going to first of all study about how that acetylcholine is formed, how it is going to go and bind to the cholinergic receptors and perform their effect. This whole pathway of the formation of the acetylcholine followed by its effect is called mechanism of action. Right? So now we're going to study the mechanism of action of cholinergic system or the formation of acetylcholine. First step is number 1. You have in the mitochondria. In the mitochondria, we have studied in our second year biochemistry, you have a process called your Kreb cycle. In the Kreb cycle, you are going to have the formation of acetyl coenzyme A. That acetyl coenzyme A will bind with your choline that will come from outside the cell, from the extracellular fluid, and will bind with acetyl coenzyme A and form your acetylcholine. When acetylcholine will be produced, it is basically acetylcholine. This acetylcholine, when not required right now, will be gone and stored in your vesicles called the stored vesicle. This whole process is occurring in the presynapse. And when the acetyl coenzyme A combined with choline and forms acetylcholine, this requires an enzyme called the choline acetyltransferase. Second, now when there is an action potential generated, either you're going into stress or you're relaxed, you will require this production of acetylcholine. An action potential will be generated, your calcium ions will move inside. When the calcium ions will move on the inside, they will cause these acetylcholine, which are stored in the stored, to come out and release from the presynapse. So this acetylcholine, which was in the presynapse and stored, due to calcium ions movement, they will come out in the synaptic cleft. Once coming out in the synaptic cleft, they're going to go and bind with your receptors located in the postsynapse. When located in the your postsynapse, they're going to bind and perform their effects. What are those receptors called? Cholinergic receptors. Now, when the body has been stress-free, or you have re-exam done or got the admission, we have to break down this acetylcholine. How it is going to be broken down? This is going to be broken down by the presence of an enzyme called acetylesterase, which will break this acetylcholine into acetate and choline, and the process will stop. So that was whole for the mechanism of action of how we get the acetylcholine, how it is going to bind and perform its effect, and when done, how it's going to be broken, right? Now, the enzyme that is responsible for breaking this acetylcholine into acetate and choline is of two types, true and false type. The true one is present where? In the neuromuscular junction, in the red blood cells, and the false is present in your plasma cell. Now, your question can arise that why is divided into two acetylcholinesterase, true and false? The difference is that the true one is going to break both acetylcholine and methyl-acetylcholine, whereas the false one only is going to break down your acetylcholine and does not break down your methyl-thione. Alright? Now we have that we studied that once received from the presynaptic cleft, they're going to bind to these receptors. Now receptors are all over the body, like there's no part in your body which do not have a receptor. They will go to your central nervous system, your heart, your lungs, your GIT tract, your urinary tract, everywhere. So, for our easiness, we divide it into two types, muscarinic and nicotinic. Muscarinic one is further divided into 5 categories, M1, M2, M3, M4, and M5. Where is M1 located? It is located, for easy, you see, there's only one brain in our body, right? So, obviously to your central nervous system. M2, now you see the heart, there's two parts. There's a right part and a left side. So M2 receptors will be to the heart. M3, to your smooth muscles, your gland. M4 and M5 also to your CNS, but the most important are the M1, M2, and M3. Then we have the nicotinic receptors. They are divided into two, NN and NM. And M for muscles and N for neuro. So neuromuscular junction. And NN will be to your adrenal medulla and your autonomic ganglion. And that was all how we make acetylcholine, and when done, how we break it down and what are the receptors. Hope you guys understood it. If still difficulty, leave it behind in the comment box and I'll try to solve it. Thank you, and give my channel a thumbs up and also subscribe my channel. Thank you.